Usually people mix up the terminologies in fiqh. We say something is mustahab. Some people say it is sunnah and this and that. What is the relationship between all of these terminologies? And it's very important because if something is compulsory, if something is sunnah, if something is nafila, how do we relate with them so that we're not mixing things up in our fiqh? Pay attention to this. If something is not required from us by the Sharia, as a matter of obligation, but it's also required, it is called mustahab. It is called mustahab, which is loosely translated as recommended. This mustahab are divided into three. Mustahab divided into three. The first one is what we call sunnah. The second one is called raghiba. And the third one is called nafila. What is sunnah? Sunnah is something, an act that was carried out by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam wadawama alayhi. Point number one, he did that consistently. He didn't just do it one time or just 2 times. He did that consistently. He's used to doing it. 2, fi jama'atin. He did it in public, to the public glare, so that everyone can see it, meaning that he was intentional about doing it in public. 3rd, وَلَمْ يَدِلُّ دَلِيلٌ عَلَى وُجُوبِهِ. And there is no evidence that that action is compulsory. So this is what we call sunnah. If he does it consistently, in public, and there is no evidence that is compulsory, it is called sunnah. Many examples of that abound. The second one is called ar-raghiba. Ar-raghiba is what the Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to do, even though he himself did not do it in the public. For example, there was some sunnah that the Prophet ﷺ, and I use the word sunnah loosely, did at home. Nobody saw him do it, but he will encourage you. Like raka'at al-fajr, the 2-unit prayer that we make before fajr. He says, doing them is better than this world and whatever it contains. For example, the Prophet ﷺ will say, whoever reads Surah Al-Mulk at night, this blessing will be for him. Whoever reads this. But the Sahaba did not see him come to the mosque at night and say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير. But he encouraged it, even though he didn't do it in public. That is called raghiba. Nafila are things, actions that the Sharia did not specifically require from us. But from the knowledge of the Sharia, we know that they attract reward. Let me give an example. The Prophet ﷺ says, fasting as-sawmu junnatun. It's a wall of protection. I decide, okay, I don't work on weekends, so I have more time. Every other weekend, I want to fast. That is nafila. Is there an evidence from the Sharia that directly, specifically says fast on weekend? No. But is fasting good? Yes, that's what we call nafila. This can also appear in other forms. For example, I close early on Friday, and this is my personal convenience. I decide every Friday evening, I go visit my family. Visiting the family is good, but visiting the family on Friday evening is not recommended by Sunnah, but it's nafila. Oh, I didn't drive to work, so I have 20 minutes in the morning while commuting to work to read Quran. Inshallah, 15 minutes out of those 20 minutes, I'll use to read Quran every morning or every other morning or every week or once in a year. That is nafila. The Sharia has not specifically recommended you to do that. But you know that that act in itself is rewarding. And waqis ala dhalik. In the next episode, we'll be talking more about classification of sunnah. So watch out for it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.